It's hard to believe, but we are already almost halfway through the NFL season. It's becoming increasingly clear who is very good and who is very bad. What's clear as day to me is the list of players stranded on awful teams with so many positions and just so many guys throughout the NFL, so many elite players. There really is no league with more great players marooned on terrible teams. So, let's take a look around the league and see who needs a change of scenery for the good of the player and, of course, the sanity of the viewing public. Myles Garrett. The obvious choice, coming off a 5-sack performance in which he set the record for most sacks before turning 30, which is a Reggie White record, which should never be broken. He's just an unreal player, maybe the best overall player in the league. And I say he's stranded knowing full well that he signed that contract in the offseason. I'm ignoring feasibility for this one. This guy is maybe the best player in the league, and he plays for the worst team in the league who have very little reason for optimism going forward. Last offseason, Myles did the right thing and asked for a trade from the Cleveland Browns. I was excited maybe the Bills would go get him to push them over the top. Maybe a rising contender like the Commanders, maybe even the Bengals in division with all their defensive struggles. And in the end, Myles used the trade request to leverage a massive contract extension. I do not fault him for chasing the bag, and I certainly don't begrudge players committed to playing their careers with the team that drafted them. I love to see that, but when that team is the Cleveland Browns, you know what you're getting into. I think so highly of Myles Garrett that if he played for any other team in the league except maybe the Saints, he could have them in playoff contention. Even if he was on the Titans, there would be optimism with him on defense and the number one pick on offense. Instead, he will be beholden to a roll of the dice on a quarterback, perhaps for eternity. We want you to be free, Myles, but you did dig yourself this grave. Maxx Crosby. Now here's a guy who is in the exact same situation as Myles Garrett. Elite edge rusher and run defender, stranded on an organization who has little idea on how to build anything close to a winning roster. Free Maxx Crosby. When you looked at the Raiders' offense at the beginning of the year, you could talk yourself into a playoff run. I know I did. It turns out none of it is working. I was enamored with the Bowers, Genti, and Geno of it all, and overlooked the clear offensive line and receiver issues. It's a team a few years away from being a fully formed offense, let alone defense, but they have a quarterback and edge rusher that suggests win now. Crosby, like Garrett, is capable of anchoring miraculous defensive performances week to week. However, chances are that as the losses keep stacking, eventually that unit's spirit will break. This has long been the case for the Browns and seems likely for the Raiders, so we need Max elsewhere, just not the Cowboys. Trevor Lawrence. It's hard to say free a quarterback because usually if a team isn't playing well, not really the case with the Jaguars, the first person on the list to blame is the quarterback. So I challenged myself to try to find a quarterback who I think is kind of a victim right now. The result, I understand, may shock you. Spencer Rattler was kind of sneaky. An option too. I know. Trevor's getting paid a lot of money. He has a head coach that is supposed to get the most out of him. That was also the assignment of the last head coach. Man, I know. But I've seen what I've seen with Trevor. He's capable of making all-world throws. I think rather than having a coach that wants to refine his skills, I'd like to see him just turned loose. Think about Jameis Winston under Bruce Arians. It led to a 30-30 season, but it was fun, and we knew what Jameis was. There's just something about Jacksonville that screams bad quarterback play. Trevor has a lot of time left in this season to figure things out, but with him and Caleb Williams both struggling, it seems like the offensive guru's obsession with average quarterbacks is kind of winning in this league right now. I want Trevor to just go to a team where he can be a gunslinger. The stakes aren't incredibly high in Jacksonville, but I'd love to see him in Minnesota if McCarthy doesn't work, Atlanta if Penix doesn't work, maybe the successor to Matt Stafford in LA. Options are limited, but I think Trevor Lawrence was born to be a 40 throws a game guy. Garrett Wilson. For our second Garrett of the video, I am going with the guy who I probably should have started the video with because holy hell is he way too good for this team. Every game I watch Garrett Wilson play, he competes his tail off. Despite his size, he's incredible at contested catches, and he has to do them so often because he never has an accurate quarterback. The Jets organization is also unhealthily obsessed with defense. It gets lost in their failures at quarterback that they are abysmal at developing offensive talent in general. And yet Garrett Wilson has been a star since he stepped in the league. Can you imagine this guy anywhere else? He can play in the slot or on the outside. He runs the entire route tree. He has hands like glue. He's never been anything close to a problem in the locker room when nobody would blame him for being one. It's kind of anti-receiver behavior. His attitude alone should land the Jets 2 first-round picks in a trade. He's the kind of receiver that needs to be a volume target. He's a separator and should be used all over the formation. Think Cooper Kupp in his LA days, Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb now are good examples. It's brutal to see this guy's talent going to waste, especially when the Jets keep trying to build the same ground and pound plus defense team over and over again and fail at every turn. Okay, here are some lesser ones I wanted to just kind of fire off the top of my head. Not really that well thought out, but I think it works. Kyle Pitts. I think the Chiefs could turn him into the next Travis Kelce. He hasn't been bad this year, though. Tony Pollard. Pollard is a very good back, and lots of decent teams actually need running backs right now. Get out of Tennessee, man. Kayvon Thibodeau. Had to do one Giants D lineman since they won't be able to keep all of them. Kayvon is probably going to land a ton of money as a result of his production on this murderer's row of defensive linemen. Joe Burrow, on the lowest of keys. He's got all the weapons and all the money. I just hate a born winner being stuck on such a loser of an organization. Chuba Hubbard, a proven good running back who had his spot taken. Go play for a good team. Kyler Murray. He hasn't really earned this, but I just think it would be interesting to see him somewhere else. It would be so easy to talk yourself into, and then it would probably go the same. And finally, not A.J. Brown, because the grass ain't always greener. That's all for this week. Maybe with the trade deadline looming, we'll see some of these faces on the move, but the point of this video is that these dudes are kind of stuck. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week.